Well, hello and welcome to Qlik Spotlight. And this is Qlik Spotlight spotlighting the APAC region. And I have the very great pleasure of having Julian Quinn, Senior VP of APAC. Hello, Julian. And what time is it there? You're in Japan at the moment, aren't you?
I am indeed, John, yes. And the time is coming up for 5 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
If you were, if you could actually look out of the building where I'm sat, the
Yeah.
thing that is incredibly compelling is everywhere you look, there's opportunity, an opportunity for Qlik.
Nice. Glad to hear that. Very good intro, Julian. I like that. You've rehearsed that a lot, I can tell. Fantastic. So, obviously, you haven't spent your whole life at Qlik. So, give me a bit of your journey to Qlik, your career journey to Qlik. What were you doing before?
Actually, a key part of my journey in my formative years was actually growing up in Singapore and Malaysia. I did most of
Ah,
my schooling education
yeah.
from the age of 5 to 15, and I spent 5, 6 years in the British Army, which I was very proud of, and then
Hmm.
came into the IT industry and have been in the IT industry ever since. So
Hmm.
some of the companies I've worked with in the past have been companies like BEA in the application
Ah,
middleware space,
yeah.
through to Novell, obviously in local area networking. With Adobe, I ran the Adobe Asia Pacific region for Adobe for some 6+
Yeah.
years, and then of course here at Qlik.
So what made you join Qlik? What was the attraction for you?
Oh my gosh, John! I mean, to me, it was so compelling. Firstly, right market, right time.
Hmm.
You've got data analytics, which is absolutely at the front of a customer buying decision, and the ability to apply that technology and achieve real tangible outcomes for customers. So, right market, right time,
Yeah.
very much customer focused in terms of the analytics economy. And then there was a real commitment to Asia Pacific being a growth engine for the company,
Yeah.
and my ability to apply some of my experience in helping Qlik grow and expand. And then I was just impressed by the executives, and of course, being private means that your strategy is untethered and you can just get on and execute.
Hmm. Yeah, excellent, excellent. You mentioned a company there that sort of was a blast from the past, which was Novell, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, that Novell is one of those companies that like BlackBerry and like a lot of companies and Nokia, a lot of countries that were prevalent. I mean, Novell Networks was all you've got, but a lot of them sat on their laurels, didn't they? And especially like the huge. I mean, everyone had a Nokia mobile phone, everyone had a BlackBerry,
Mm,
and to me, that's a
yes.
lesson in keep being aware of your marketplace and not being too safe and secure where you are. What do you think on that?
Oh, totally. I mean,
Mm.
competition's a really healthy thing. I mean, it allows you to continue to innovate, and you have to do that. I mean, it's companies that continue to move fast
Yeah, yeah.
that will always be successful. I mean, you've got to be focused at the same time, and clearly in a vast region like Asia Pacific, I mean, that's important. That you don't dilute your efforts and
Yep.
spread them too thinly across markets. But I do think it comes back to, yes, not being complacent and
Mm.
continuing to innovate. As long as you do that, then we will continue to be incredibly successful.
Yeah. So the APAC region is amazing. I've been over to Japan once doing the Business Discovery World Tour and India and yeah, and India. I love India very much. It's a beautiful country. So what excites you most about your role, and maybe specifically your role, but in the APAC region?
Well, you rightly said. I mean, Asia is it's a tapestry of different,
Yeah.
cultures, obviously food, and it's been a significant part of my life and will always continue to be. But what really excites me about my role is actually working with customers and obviously working with a great team. I mean, those two things
Mm.
come together,
Of course.
and
Yeah.
we have a great set of partners. And obviously, when you have the challenge of such a big region, partners are a key part of our DNA. They have to be because they give us the coverage model that you need. And it's one thing to be a market leader, and we've always been a market leader from the very beginning of Qlik, a market creator, but market leadership is also about points of presence and making sure you have a really good coverage model. So partnerships are key in being able, to work with partners. But those are the key things. I mean, I just love working with customers, and we have a
Mm.
customer first team in all that we do.
Yeah, now the APAC region itself, what makes it so fascinating and so amazing and rich and complex is because the different cultures, the different languages and so on. But does that offer in its way some challenges for you in how you operate? So, operating differently in Japan than you would in India, does that offer challenges for you?
Well, the customer issue is pretty much the same regardless of where you are in Asia.
Yeah.
Customers always have a need to improve operational efficiency. It could be quality control, it could be acquisition of new customers and retaining existing ones. It could be entering into an entirely new market. So
Mm.
Qlik and its analytics platform still remains very compelling regardless of culture. I think where the cultural sensitive is come into play
Mm.
is really around how one expresses yourself and how you
Yep.
actually read and greet and meet your customers. That's somewhat different, but apart from that, the customer issues are still very much the same.
Hmm. Yeah, so even it all boils down to we all have data everywhere, don't we? And we all need to get answers from that data, and that comes around actually very nicely, almost like it's planned. To the next question is now the Podium acquisition that now we're about a month, 2 months into. How has that been received in your region, and what's your take on why Qlik acquired Podium?
Oh, it's been received incredibly positively. I mean, by
Mm.
customers and our partners, and also by our team. And it really starts rounding out Qlik's platform, with data preparation,
Yep.
cataloging, and we've taken initiative to accelerate our plans, and we've actually sent some of our people over to the Podium team so that we start the knowledge transfer, and we do that quickly, so that we can really apply this with our customers going into 2019.
Mm.
But all in all, very, very positive, and it proves the very point that we began with by Qlik not being complacent. It's not sat on its laurels. It's
Yep.
continuing to innovate and acquire companies, and will continue to be the leader in the market.
Yeah, and of course, there's the announcement just yesterday. I was speaking to the Podium team at the Strata conference in New York yesterday, and then the announcement of the new version for Podium and also QABDI as well, which also fits in very nicely with that. So that's excellent. Yeah,
Indeed, yes,
yeah, 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 yeah. So Data Revolution Tour is coming soon to your region. How is that going?
really well. We're blessed by a great
Yeah.
marketing team. And the key thing that is a hallmark in Asia Pacific region is that we are one team, and we really come together to ensure that we're inviting all the right customers to
Mm.
what is going to be a fantastic event. And it's just another way of ensuring that we cover the market, we continue to build our brand, and we continue to get our value proposition out into the market. So it's going to be a tremendous
Yeah.
success.
And the registration's going well. Is there any help you need for anyone who's listening to this within your region that anything that you need to do more?
We always need to do more.
Yeah.
There's one thing about being a leader in the business is that I always feel that the more can be done,
Mm.
and it's about driving a high performing team. But in truth, I have to say that the marketing team is doing an excellent job in hand with the sales team of getting registrations, and we're well prepared for
Mm.
Mumbai, the event in Mumbai, through to Singapore, the Sydney event, which is actually going to be the first, that begins at the end of this month. And
Yeah.
then the last event will be here in Tokyo around about the 25th of October. So well positioned and well prepared.
Yeah, I'm slightly jealous actually because I've spoken at the Mumbai and the Tokyo event I've spoken at, so I won't be there this year, but I shall be hoping all the best for all the events that go off, and I'll go on about the Indian region because I've been there the most, I think, and the feeling you get around these events and the way people are interacting is amazing. The Indian audience are fantastic. I've had so much fun presenting to the Indian audience. So invite me next year, Julian. Otherwise
I
I'll
absolutely
miss my
will,
little
John.
dose of India. Um, Right, so we're going to slightly change tack now, and we're going to learn a little bit about, who is Julian Quinn, and just some stuff around that. So at the
Hmm.
weekend, you're obviously very busy. Now you've still got a very strong British accent there, Julian. But how long have you lived in APAC for?
Well, professionally, I've been in Asia now for some 22 years.
Hmm.
But then obviously I spent my formative years growing up in Asia as well.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yes, yes.
having said that, it's quite funny because when I speak to my mum, my elderly
Hmm.
mum who lives in the UK still, she thinks I've got an Australian accent. Of course,
Oh, does
all
she?
my Australian friends and colleagues believe I've got a very British accent, and obviously you've said that too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's funny how accents come with you, but I can assure you, if I'm in Singapore, I can use some of the Singlish as well.
Oh, nice, nice. I never heard that Singlish before. Okay, so but what do you do at the weekend then? How do you relax?
I love to keep myself fit and healthy.
Hmm.
I work out, I run every day, and I've pretty much done that since my early 20s.
Right, right.
I really believe in keeping yourself fit and
Hmm.
in tune, both mentally and physically. But I also get a lot of enjoyment out of playing the guitar. So I play acoustic guitar, and I'm forever learning. I can't sing, so please don't ask me to do that on this.
No,
Um,
I won't. You're okay.
and cycling, and I also love being well read, both
Yeah,
socially and politically. I take a keen interest in politics and social affairs.
yeah, yeah,
So all of those things keep me pretty well occupied at weekends, and obviously when I'm back in countries like Australia, I get time to spend
yeah.
with my family and my grandkids and my daughters, who I love dearly.
Excellent. Now that's you. There's so many guitar players at Qlik, people who are doing that. Robert Fleming, if you didn't know, plays guitar as well.
I
We
didn't
need
know
to get a
that.
band. We need to get a band together, a guitar band. So I'll leave that for you to do, Julian. Sort it out, and we can call them I don't know, think of a name, Clickies or Green, White, and Greys or something like that. That'll be a good thing to do. So
Yeah.
are you a seaside or countryside or both?
Oh, I love life. I love both.
Mm,
I love the sea. There's an element of tranquility there, but you get that
mm,
also with the countryside and mountains. And I do have a
yeah.
property actually on a lake, and it's got perfect feng shui because you've got the sea in front of you, and then you've got the mountain behind.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect, isn't it? Yeah, so absolutely. So, I mean, you live in Australia. Do you live by the sea or inland?
it's a sea lake.
Oh, I
So
see. Sorry. So
yeah,
property. I thought you meant the holiday property. So that is your main property. Oh, okay, right.
yeah. Only
Ah,
when I'm
like
back though. I'm not back so often, unfortunately.
no, no, no. I can imagine. So like a lock then, a sea lock from in Scotland.
Correct.
So you got the
Yeah.
sea. Ah, fantastic. That sounds idyllic. Idyllic. Right. So name me a food that if someone was to put it in front of you, you'd push it away and leave your chair.
Oh gosh, that's my problem, John.
That's why you run every day.
That's why I have to run every day. Exactly.
Yeah.
When you've got this cultural tapestry in Asia
Oh,
and outstanding cuisine,
yeah,
from
yeah.
Indian food to Chinese to Japanese food, Australian cuisine, it's all too tempting.
Mm.
There's no food I don't like.
Okay.
So yeah, I just love all cuisines. And I love the different flavors that you get. I do really enjoy spicy food, and
Yeah,
but
me
yeah,
too. Me too. You're in
in
the right
Asia,
region for that, aren't you?
yeah,
Yes.
temptations in front of you every day when it comes to food.
I can. So you're not even going to say Brussels sprouts then? I don't suppose you get those
I love Brussels
in
sprouts,
Asia.
and
You
you
love
can get
Brussels
them.
sprouts.
You can get them. Yes.
Oh, nice. Yes, I'm one of my favorite. I'd say a food that I had was in Hong Kong, and it was a hot pot in Hong Kong, and it was just amazing. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
jealous of food. And, yeah, okay.
And I love cooking, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
one of my dishes that I love to do is actually a hand-raised English pork pie made the
Oh,
traditional
really?
way with a dolly. So it's a wooden dolly,
Ah.
and I managed to get one from an antiques place very close to Melton Mowbray, where this
Well, yes, the
Melton Mowbray
home of
pies come
pork
from.
pies. Yeah.
So yes, I mean,
That's a
I love
water crust, isn't it? If I remember rightly, my cooking
yes.
memory. Yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
know a little bit about pork pies, and I like eating them as well. Another reason why I need to exercise. Too many of those, and you won't be running very far. That's for sure. So 2018, we've nearly finished really. 2018, we're now just coming up to the last quarter. But if you could choose one thing, and this could be personal or work, that you really want to achieve in 2018, what would that be?
Well, as you say, 2018, it's
Mm, not much
we're
longer
still
to
very
go.
exactly we're still very focused on obviously our business goals and financial goals for the company. But from a personal perspective, going into 2019, one personal goal would be to be more giving to other people
Mm.
and to help people. That would be kind of my number one thing.
Yeah, and I think with our corporate responsibility program, we're given the unique ability to be able to do that, aren't we? I know there's been some emails going around with the We See
Yeah,
Hope and the people that are out there at the moment, and that's incredible. And we're doing so much stuff. There was an event I spoke about on my internal comms update where in the Barcelona hub they were doing coding lessons, but for disadvantaged people. So from the
right.
LGBT environment, from people who'd immigrated and maybe didn't have so much. So I think yeah, Qlik is CR program is fantastic, and we can give as much as we can. So that's fantastic and a very worthy thing, Julian. And I want to thank you so much for getting involved in Qlik Spotlight. And need to leave you something. So this is a an obscure fact, and I have my
Right.
special book that I get my obscure facts from. And this one amazed me, and I don't understand why, but bubble wrap was initially marketed as wallpaper.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
My gosh, maybe a wallpaper for a padded cell. That would work, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And you'd have a lot of fun popping your wallpaper. But yes, initially marketed as wallpaper. So there you go. So thank you, Julian, so much for that. It's been an absolute pleasure, and for taking the time later on in the day to, like I said, get involved in Spotlight. Let's do this again sometime. It was a lot of fun, and enjoy your evening and all the lovely food in Japan.
Thank you, John. Enjoy your morning and very nice to speak with you too. All the very
Yeah,
best.
thank.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Goodbye.
You too.